Now, what happens if we add a constant to each value? So how does that change our shape, our center, and our spread? Very similar to a review of the effects of linear transformations. If I added a value to each x and the probability remained the same, what would happen to my mean, my median, my quartiles, my percentiles, my range, my IQR, my standard deviation, the shape, all that stuff? I could go back and add that value to every number and then redo all the work, but we don't want to do that. So when they talk about adding a constant, they're going to call that constant that's being added A. So if you think about before, if everybody got 10 extra credit points added to their test, well, the mean score of that class's test would increase by 10. If everybody got 10 points added to their score, the median would increase by 10. The quartiles would increase by 10. The percentiles would increase by 10, and so on. What would happen to the spread? If everybody got 10 points added, it wouldn't change the spread at all. It would just shift us along the line, but we would all still be spread out from one another the same amount that we would be before. So the effects of adding a constant, what happens if we multiply by a constant to each term? So if everybody's score got multiplied by 2, well, then the mean would get multiplied by 2. The median would get multiplied by 2. The spread, the standard deviation, or the IQR, or the range would get multiplied by 2. So if you think back to the effects of linear transformations, that's what's going to happen. We're going to look at that in this section on what does it do to the mean and what does it do to the variance. Standard deviations are sacred. We can't do anything to standard deviations. So if we want to multiply by a constant or we want to add a constant, and we're talking in terms of standard deviations, then we have to convert those to variances before we do it. So what this really is saying here symbolically is the mean of A plus BX, where A is a constant being added or subtracted, and B is a constant being multiplied or divided. Okay. So if I want to find the mean of A plus BX, well, cool. Then just take that variable that was being added and add it to the mean after we multiply it. So the rule for the mean of A plus BX is A plus B times the mean of X. Pretty simple. Just do whatever it tells you to do. Now, however, for the rule for the variance of A plus BX, well, what did we say before? If we add a constant to every term, it has nothing to do with the spread. It doesn't change it. So A just goes away. So the rule for the variance of A plus BX would be B squared times the variance of X. So take the original variance and multiply it by that multiplier squared. Why? Because we really want to get back to the standard deviation. And to take the standard deviation, we have to take the square root of the variance. So basically, these two tables here are giving us this rule for mean and this rule for variance. What if I want to add two means together? What if if the mean number of pieces of pizza a boy eats is 6 and the mean number of pieces of pizza a girl eats is 3, and they go on a date? How much pizza do they need? Well, what's the mean of the two of them together? Well, the boy's going to eat 6 on average, the girl's going to eat 3 on average. So as a couple, on average, they would eat 9 pieces of pizza. So the rule for the mean of adding two, if you want to add two means, go ahead, add them, and you'll get the answer. Right? What if you want to subtract two means, or the difference of two means, the mean of X minus Y? Well, go ahead, just subtract the two means. Okay. So on average, a boy eats 6 pieces of pizza and a girl eats 3. On a date together, how much do they eat? Oh, 9. On a date, what's the difference? And on average, how many more pieces of pizza would a boy eat than a girl? Oh, 3. 6 minus 3. On average, the difference between the male and the female would be 3 slices of pizza. On average, the total number of pieces of pizza they consumed would be 9. So the rules for means and for adding two means and subtracting two means is simple. Just add them, just subtract them. Makes our life very easy.